What's up, everybody? Brothers, sisters, psychonauts, and seekers of truth. It is Ananka, and welcome to my bazaar. Today, I have a DXM trip report for you. The title of this trip report is The Worst Thing I've Ever Done, and was submitted to Erowid in 2007 by the user Leslie. With all that being said, let our story begin. So I finally decided to try and add to my experience. I've tried the following: marijuana, which I only use to enhance my experiences now; alcohol, nicotine, Percocets, various oxys, Xanax, other pills. Well, I don't like to think of myself as a druggie, but I have tried a lot of them. And unfortunately, Skittles was one of the many. My friend James told me that he was doing these pills often. He said that he tripped on them all the time, and they were great. So I thought, hey, I'll try them. Well, I got some from him a few days later in school. I'm a senior in high school. I decided that since I had never tried them before, I would wait until I had some time where my mom wasn't home and I could try them without her bothering me. Monday, Martin Luther King Day. We had the day off from school and my mom was at work. The perfect time to try my Skittles. Well, James had given me 8 of them, and he was about 5'2", and probably 150 to 120 pounds, while I am approximately 5'3", and 110 to 115 pounds. So I figured we could handle about the same dosage. Now I am always very careful with drugs that I take for the first time. I'd read about quercetin and the like, and I figured I could handle it. By the way, never ever do quercetin. If you're going to do DXM cough syrup, make sure it has only DXM in it. That's why I recommend Delsum, because Delsum only has DXM Polysterex. Anyways, I got up at about 11 a.m. and about noon, I decided to take 4 of them. 5 minutes later, I said to hell with that and took 2 more, making my total 6. I waited for the effects to take place. About 45 minutes later, I started to feel a little lightheaded and dizzy. I stood up from my desk and immediately felt unfathomably dizzy and almost fell over. I went to the bathroom, about 5 feet from my room, and looked in the mirror. My pupils were huge. I went back to my room and my boyfriend DM'd me. I told him I felt sick and couldn't talk. He did not know I was taking drugs at the time. I stumbled to my bed, laid down, and turned on the TV. My vision began to blur a little. It felt more like I was really, really drunk than anything. About an hour, I began to feel nauseated and sick. I made my way back to the bathroom and sat on the floor next to the toilet, hoping to throw up the pills. No such luck. There was nothing in my stomach to throw up. I went back to my bed after about 5 to 10 minutes and lay there attempting to watch TV. Soon, my vision became doubled. Then it was so bad that I could see better with my glasses off. I went back to my computer where I talked to James. He said he wanted to call me because I felt very, very dizzy. I refused to let him do so. Then I proceeded to try and eat some food to try to dilute the medication, because I had not eaten anything that day. I took 1 bite of a pretzel and spit it out. It flew across the room. I couldn't swallow it. By this time, I was having trouble breathing. My throat felt tight and I was breathing heavily, from what I can remember. I went back over to my bed and lay there hallucinating. Every time I closed my eyes, I had vivid hallucinations. It's difficult to explain, because I cannot really remember. If you have ever seen that picture of God's hand and another person's hand about to touch, that is what I saw at one point. I think I saw God. But as I said, it's hazy at this point. I remember hearing things. I swear that I hear someone running up and down the steps outside my room. I kept telling myself, it's not real. You are imagining it. Calm down. But it didn't help. I slammed my eyes shut and tried not to think. Impossible. I continued to hallucinate. Then I heard my door creak open a little bit. Suddenly, my cat jumped at the door and burst into my room. My heart raced. I think I almost had a heart attack. It was the worst feeling ever. I just wanted it to go away. I wanted to throw up and sober up, but that was not possible. I tried to get some sleep. By the time my mom got home, which was about 6 to 7, I was feeling considerably better. My mind had cleared. I was no longer hallucinating, but I had a bad hangover. I felt a little nauseated and sick. I had a headache. My mom didn't notice anything out of the ordinary, thankfully, because I am pretty good at hiding these things. I told her I needed to go back to my father's house and do some homework, so she took me back. By the time I got there, I was feeling even better, but very tired. All I wanted to do was sleep. I changed into my pajamas and jumped into bed. Unfortunately, I had school the next day. The hangover was similar to that of the ones you would get after drinking a lot. Headache, fatigue, nausea, etc. Not to be preachy, but seeing as you were reading this, I assume you were trying to find references to different people's reactions to Triple C. Triple C stands for Caristin, cough, and cold, but he means Delsamin. You get what I'm saying? That's a very good thing to do. But I also did that, and still tried these pills. In fact, I was reading about everyone's bad trips after I had taken the pills, which unfortunately made it too late for me to change my mind. Although I most likely would not have changed my mind anyway, there was little, if anything, positive about my trip. I learned the hard way, and I hope that you don't learn the same way I did.